Good morning, sixth graders. Today's a review day for social studies. Tomorrow, Thursday, there'll be a test. So the purpose of today is just to review and make sure that we're all on the same page for what the content of the test is going to be tomorrow. So there was really no good way to do this. So this is what I've done. This is what we'll do today. If you go to the 10.7 file in your Google Classroom for Social Studies, there's a large swath of information I've placed on there. And I'm just going to put this into edit mode so we can see it in a linear fashion. Of course, you're going to watch this video that I'm creating right now. And then your teachers are going to make a copy of this Jeopardy game, Early Dakota History game. And I'll go through that in just a minute, how to do that and everything. But below that, you see all the important PowerPoints or slideshows that I've created for this topic. We got creation myths, life of the Sioux in Dakota, Dakota oral tradition, Dakota of Minnesota. And then, of course, down here is the study guide. So all the information that you need for the test is contained in this slide. And especially if you spend time on the study guide, this tells you dot for dot, section for section, what's on the test. Right? I literally sit down with this document and I create the test from this. All right. So I'm just going to run through this really fast. And then you're responsible for using this in any way you want. If you want to make a copy of this and then fill in information, you can. If you just want to have this up on your screen and run through it, ask yourself, do I know this stuff? That's also a good way to do this. If you want to print it out and write stuff down, that's your prerogative too. But for sure, you need to know the 4 seasons of the Dakota: the fall, the winter, spring, and summer. Know their food, location, their activities, the things they did, and then, of course, what type of shelter did they use during that time. Just to clarify a few things, there was one mistake when we did this. We did that chart for the 4 seasons. There was one mistake in the shelter. The Dakota stayed in teepees in the fall and the winter. In the spring and the summer, they had shelter that was built called bark houses. And those were anchored in one spot. They did not move. So fall and winter, Dakota shelter was teepee. Spring and summer, bark houses. Know your vocabulary. What's oral tradition? What's an elder? A sugar camp, a bark house, teepee. Those are important words to know. Make sure you know about oral tradition. Those stories that we read, the characters in there. What's the purpose of these stories? What do they teach? Who tells them? What does it explain? And remember, the Dakota did not have written language, so this was their way of keeping track of their cultural history. The importance of buffalo from that movie. How was the buffalo used? What parts were used and for what? What if they didn't have the buffalo? Or what if the buffalo herd disappeared for that year? Why was that important? Or what could that cause? A map of the Dakota homeland. Where did they live? What part of Minnesota did they live in? Where did they migrate to based on the seasons? How many bands or council fires did the Dakota have? I'll give you the answer really quickly. It was 7. Now, I'm not going to ask you to write down all 7, but you should probably know which is the closest band to where we live in Jordan. I'll give you a hint. If you go towards Prior Lake, you'll be really, really close. I'm going to throw some paintings on there. I love paintings. Visual questions are, I think, outstanding, so I'll probably put at least 1, maybe 2 paintings on there, and you'll just have to identify and discuss what you see in the paintings. And then, of course, the possible essay questions, short answer, however you want to call them. I would bet my bottom dollar that 2 of these will be on the test. And um, just know these. These topics were covered up here in this part of the study guide. But just be able to sit down, organize your thoughts, and answer these questions in complete sentences, plural sentences. Just because it's social studies doesn't mean that we don't have to write in complete sentences. So that's pretty much it for the study guide. Now I'd like to just kind of quickly instruct your teachers on the Jeopardy game that we're going to play today. So when the teachers go back to this screen, the Jeopardy game is right here. And so what I did is I just made it so that the teachers just need to make a copy of it. Okay. Yeah, let's make a copy of it over here under file. They know how to do all that good stuff. And then they'll open up their own version. Okay. So it's just like a regular Jeopardy board. Here are the categories. Boom, 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 boom. All 5. And then when you click on a category, let's say you want to do Buffalo for 100, a little hyperlink pops up underneath here. You click on that. It takes you to the question. It is a little bit klutzy, but this is the best way I can figure out how to do it. After you answer the question, you just go down here, click to see the answer, and it'll tell you what the answer is for that one. And then you return. Boom. Just like that. I would suggest dividing the class into 3 teams and then keeping track of the score as best you can on a whiteboard. Okay. There is a final Jeopardy question, so teachers will have to explain how that works to the kids because I'm sure none of the 6th graders have ever watched Jeopardy before. So that is our schedule for today. Teachers, you can play this game as long as the students can handle it. When they cease being respectful or in control, then you can stop at that point. And the kids can go back to their study guides and work on that. Please make sure you handed in that Dakota winter coat from yesterday. I'll come pick those up if those are not complete. You can work on your states and capitals, or just states, excuse me. But you need to be prepared for this test tomorrow. That's the purpose of today. If there's any questions, come around and see me. This should be pretty self-explanatory. Good luck on the test tomorrow. Have a good day.